Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another episode of Stay Rad Wine Blog TV. I'm taking a break from watching the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans game right now. The Patriots are destroying the Texans, and there's only about 10 minutes left in the game, so it looks like that game is at hand. I have been watching a whole lot of playoff NFL football the last couple of weeks, and I hope you have as well. I always love watching football, but especially when my San Francisco 49ers are killing it like they did to the Packers last night. It just makes it that much more fun. Speaking of football, recently on Twitter, my blogger buddy Jeff Eccles from The Lonely Vine and I had a little wager going on. He's a Denver Broncos fan, and so we said, you know what, if these two teams make it to the Super Bowl, and if the Niners beat the Broncos, he's going to send some wine from Colorado to me, because that's where he's from. And I said, look, if the Broncos beat the Niners, then I will send you some of my favorite wine from California your way, preferably maybe a bottle of Ridge Vineyards. But, since the Broncos lost yesterday, and that was a fun game, double overtime, wow. Since the Broncos lost yesterday, that bet is off, and my bottle of Ridge Vineyards is now safe. The San Francisco 49ers still in it, going to the championship game against the Falcons next weekend, and then, 2 weeks after that, they'll be in the Super Bowl against whoever. It looks like either the Patriots or the Ravens. We'll see. But, my bottle of Ridge is safe and sound right now, and I figured, what the heck, I may as well break it open. The wine I had picked out, this is the Ridge 2010 Buccignani Ranch Carignan. A while back, I was talking to another wine buddy about Ridge Vineyards, and he was talking specifically about their winemaker, Paul Draper. He said, you know what, Paul Draper is an artist when it comes to making wines. He says, and a lot of people think of Ridge, they think of the Zinfandels. And he said, look, Zinfandel is just the canvas, but he's painting with grapes like Carignan. And I just thought that was such a beautiful way to look at wine. And when you really do think of it as an art, it is awesome. And I am a huge fan of just the single vineyard, single varietal Carignans that Ridge puts together. And the Buccignani Ranch especially, I'm a fan of this. Look, I got a new little wine stopper for Christmas. So there you go. Let's pour this thing out. Color-wise, and I gotta tell you, probably about, just about an hour ago, I did double decant this, and when I was pouring it out earlier, I really was struck by the color. It's this perfect kind of blend of this dark ruby, and then this kind of light pinkish purple that's happening, and near the edges you're definitely seeing these neat little pinkish purple type of hues. It's kind of a fun wine just to look at, color wise. Let's get into the nose though, and we're getting just these super ripe blackberry and raspberry notes. It's very brambly, if you will. Definitely getting a little bit of earthy funk to it. It's a little bit mushroomy, not over the top. It's kind of hidden behind. That fruit is very much up front on this Carignan. Buccignani Ranch, it's Alexander Valley? Yeah, it's Alexander Valley. I want to say northwest Alexander Valley. So really hot days. It does get some fog. It does get some of that cool coastal influence. And 2010 was a relatively cool, a very cool summer actually. So these are definitely some grapes that had to struggle a little bit. There is going to be some concentration in there that I'm looking for. And just loving that that very bright, very ripe, dark fruit. I'm getting a little bit of that green pepper. I'm getting a little bit of little bit of that oak. Ridge Vineyards almost exclusively deals with American oak, and this one, again, was treated that way. It was either 10 or 12 months on American oak, so, a good treatment of oak, but never over the top with that oak either. Smells good. I'm looking forward to tasting this. I know some other people that are too. Wow. So, the fear when you go into that nose is that it is very much fruit forward. And definitely, those brambly, blackberry, raspberry, and kind of foresty type of notes are definitely there. But it's weird. The first thing I thought of when this wine passed through the lips, I was actually thinking of like mustard seed. Mustard seed. Yeah, that was the first thing that was kind of... It kind of hit me off guard, but I mean, definitely, and not something that's kind of weird and out of place. It's something that's different and kind of fun. So, along with those bright fruits, thinking of just a nice rack of spices, and especially that ground mustard seed. It's very fun. Haven't said this one in a while. There's definitely these powdery, chalky tannins, and I love chalk. And it's definitely just got a really fun, very nice, very velvety, very slick, very smooth mouthfeel. And oddly enough, a lot of times when I think of something being very slick, and I think of it being in like this nice, awesome package right there and almost kind of, overly manipulated. That's not really the case when we talk about the Ridge Vineyard stuff. These guys are fermented on their natural yeast, They're very much all about, they call it pre-industrial winemaking, and I do love that just philosophy and that style, and just another reason why I always kind of gravitate towards these guys. And so, it is a nice kind of smooth package, but it's coming from nature, coming from a great place. Yeah, and jammy in a really good way. Jammy with that fruit, highly concentrated with that fruit. They talk a lot about this vineyard in particular, the Buccignani Ranch vineyard. The Carignan that's coming from there, I mean, it does have the balance of like a Zinfandel field blend, just all on its own, just with that Carignan, So it is kind of fun to see how you could paint on that Zinfandel canvas with this Carignan, because it is giving just a nice, relaxed, balanced kind of mouthfeel. And kind of play on the palate. And I do have to say that the acidity, while present, I hadn't mentioned a whole lot about it, just because it is so balanced, but that acidity is definitely there, and this, along with, many wines, it's another one that would go great with a variety of foods. And I mean, if you're thinking about, football in particular, I mean, I'm almost thinking like, what if you were at a game and you had a little bit of this, and you had maybe some garlic fries, and maybe you had like just some awesome sausages. I think this is definitely a good pairing here. I bought this one a while back, maybe a little bit less than a year ago. It was probably in that low $30 range, and it's definitely one that I would suggest you, definitely one you seek out, because it is some quality stuff. I'm going to be pouring some more for myself, and Kara and I are going to be sharing this one later. So I guess I got a couple questions for you. The first one is, looking like those championship games in the NFL are set at this point. Looking at the Niners going to Atlanta, and looking at it's probably going to be the Ravens going to New England. Who do you got? Who's going to the Super Bowl? What's the score going to be? I mean, can we talk about those predictions right now? What do you think is going to happen? And also, what do you eat? What do you drink when you're watching football and it's this good? Everybody, stay rad.